host, Bell, as always. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Let's go ahead and crack into today's review. We are going to be dipping into a couple of horror packs this week, a couple movies from horror pack, I should say, this week. First one up that we're going to be doing is actually our horror pack limited edition, which was Mexico Barbaro. So let me tell you, little disclaimer for you guys. This review is only going to be about the movie. Anything that I might say negatively about this movie is not a reflection on the guys at Horror Pack. I just want to state that right off the bat. You guys will understand as the review goes on. But let's go ahead and crack into this. So this was our limited edition. It is a Mexican film, so it's all in Spanish, anthology, as I just stated. And I gotta say, you know what, for the majority of it, for the most part, I really did enjoy a lot of the stories in here. There were some, like most anthologies, most of us know that there's always a few that you really kind of are digging, a few that were kind of misses for you. You know what, that's the way that horror anthologies work. That's what we like about them. There's a little something for everybody. And there certainly were a few stories in here that I truly enjoyed. I really did enjoy the very last one. I don't really want to spoil too much for you guys in here. There will be some spoilers, but like I said, I'm not going to spoil too much for you guys, or at least I'm not for most of the stories. But the last one, the very last story, I really enjoyed. It was kind of a very nice female revenge type of movie segment, female empowerment and everything. Really liked that one. Another one that I really enjoyed was sort of like another sort of revenge type tale where we see these two gentlemen, one of which seems to be sort of like a zombie slash someone who may have been dead and buried and had some sort of Mexican voodoo sort of ritual. Very much sort of like first thing I kind of think of is sort of like the reanimated people from Serpent and the Rainbow, sort of kind of like that. That's kind of like the direction in a way. That's what it felt like with this character. And there's another guy who is basically trying to just nurse him back to health and everything. And then you kind of see when this character does get better and everything, you're kind of like, the guy's like, don't you remember me? You don't remember all this? And you kind of see like, you know, what happened and everything and sort of why he was nursing him back to health. Because, you know, he didn't want to sort of get like revenge for things in the past. Like, you know, you'll see what, you know, why he wanted to get sort of revenge and stuff, and just sort of his little story and everything. Another one that I really enjoyed was one where we kind of like just jump into the action right away, where you're kind of like, what's going on? We see this female who is basically in distress. She's obviously has been like attacked or something, kind of like what's going on. So it seems sort of like a typical slasher-esque type of setup and everything, and we're kind of like, what's going on? We see that there's a little cabin, people are, you know, being caged and everything, and then it kind of cuts away to another gentleman in the story who's like, oh, welcome to the island of dolls, and you're like, and you see people coming off this boat and everything, and it's like, tourist attraction that is like, oh my god, like, they're taking these people, they're taking these tourists and everything, little things like that. You know, so there's a few stories in here. There's actually a number of stories in here. It's actually pretty jam-packed with stories, because it is about 2 hours long, just shy of 2 hours long, but you know what, it's worth it. So yeah, so those are just some of the stories, you know, that I really did enjoy. There are others in here that I really enjoyed, like the one with, like, there's a little girl, keeps looking out her window and everything, and, you know, she always sees this, like, homeless guy outside, and he's kind of got everyone fooled. It's kind of like, yeah, he's, like I said, the homeless guy and everything, but, you know, everyone kind of just leaves him all alone. He's always kind of appears to be sort of respectful to people, to children and everything, but we see that it's very deceiving. She keeps calling, this little girl, like I said, keeps calling him the boogeyman. We see why. She's very smart, and she just knows there's something off with this guy. So just little things like that really is effective in this movie. But there is one story in here that I have to admit, you guys, I never thought I would see the day where I would say this, but there was a segment in here about the third or fourth one in, I believe, like fairly early on. I know it's like within like the first 30, 40-ish minutes of this movie about these two teens, high school teens, I'm assuming, who kind of skip the last few periods of class, go to a cabin to basically lose their virginity. So it's this story for those of you who have seen this. This story for me, and this is what I was gonna say. Like, I never thought I would see the day where I would be saying this, but me personally, this story really kind of crossed a line for me. Yes. I mean, call me a wuss if you want. I mean, whatever. Like, that's just my opinion. It's very, just very, very disturbing. I mean, I thought other scenes in movies really kind of were pushing it, but nothing like this. I mean, and when I say that of like other movies, other scenes that have really kind of was pushing my limits a bit. You know, certain things that first come to mind, such as that scene in Feast, that oral rape scene, or even like a very, very much gross out movie such as Night of Something Strange, where it's just like, oh, too much. But even those, as much as I was like, oh, like, it just kind of was like a gross out gag. This was just, I know it was supposed to be a little bit of a gross out gag, sort of like our morality sort of movie. And going back to and thinking about this and thinking about the different scenes in this segment, I mean, it does make sense because you kind of like see it as it's being set up. You know, like this girl, you know, is making like certain comments and everything that will come back to basically bite her in the butt. But certain things where she's walking past these two kind of like grungy, I think like gas station attendants or garage attendants or workers or whatever, kind of being just those creeps, kind of going, you know, like whistling. I can't whistle right now, but kind of like whistling, making little comments and everything. She's all freaking out like a teenager does, like, I mean, you know, she gets to her boyfriend, like, I almost got raped, where were you, and stuff, and like even having like her boyfriend pulls out a condom, but it's like a strawberry condom, and she's throwing a fit and is like, do you want me to get an infection? That all kind of comes into play later because he kind of like everything that like she was griping about earlier in the segment pretty much turned around and happened to her. I mean, I don't want to totally just like say everything that happens in this segment, but it just, that, like, I was okay with everything, and then they actually did that sort of like rape scene, and it just, like, it was too much for me, too much for my little brain, that it was like I was on like sensory overload at that point. It would just, for me, like, and I'm not saying any other rape scene is easy for me to watch. They're very difficult to watch, a very, very difficult subject and everything, but this one for me just kind of went over that line, as I stated, for me, and it kind of messed me up. And it's a shame, too, because I don't even know, like, and it's literally been a whole week since I've watched this movie. I'm kind of now come full circle. I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I'm kind of over it, you know, and I have, in that week, I've kind of, like I said, sort of picked up on and noticed some of, like, this little, like, tropes that they threw in here in this segment, so just, like, the, you know, rape comment and everything, but it, like I said, just for me, just kind of pushed the limit a little too much for me. It was a little too unsettling for me. And like I said, you know, this is why I kind of did my little disclaimer, because, you know, I don't want anyone to think that I am bashing the guys at Horror Pack or anything for this movie, for them sending out this movie. Not at all. I mean, I even, you know, because I know Diego and Chris kind of knew that I was very kind of upset with this one scene, you know, but they're all good in my book, dude. You know, and I even told Chris, because I know he kind of private messaged me and was like, I'm really sorry that, you know, this affected you, you know, that, you know, it was never our intention for a movie to be sent out and, upsets anyone who subscribes to us. And I told him, I was like, honestly, I do, genuinely like the rest of this movie. It's no fault of your guys. I'm not upset with you guys for sending this out. And I even said, I'm still very much in support that you guys sent this one out to get it to a broader audience, but for me, it was a little too much. I mean, it's very much similar to reasons why I don't watch certain movies, such as a Serbian film, because I've heard for years that there's that one rape scene in that movie. So it's like certain things like that I know it's going to be a little too much, so I sort of steer clear of it. I mean, I still trust like Horror Pack and stuff with future movies that they send us, because they've always been good. I've always had a great relationship with them. I've always loved them. You guys know that. But, so I'm not, like, at all upset with them. I'm not, like, canceling Horror Pack or anything like that. Still love those guys. So I just want you guys to know I am not at all upset with Horror Pack for sending this out. Because, I mean, they didn't make the movie. Seriously. Like, I'm not going to be one of those people. So, but no, I mean, other than, like, that one specific segment, I mean, the rest of the movie is, like I said, it's truly actually a really good movie, really good anthology and everything. You guys, if you want to check this out, feel free to check it out. I'm not gonna tell you guys to check it out. Do it at your own free will. I know it's streaming on Amazon. I know one of you guys did mention on my unboxing that it's on here. I know, I think almost all of the movies from both packs for August are actually on like Netflix and or Amazon. So just so you guys know, if you guys do want to see any of these movies. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I know some of you guys have already given me your thoughts on this movie. Let me know from anyone else who has recently seen this. Till next time, you guys, as always, stay creepy, classy, and a little bit sassy.